Stand by to travel. And travel away from you. Slowly. Too fast on the travel. Not too fast. Keep going. Keep it constant, Steve. Keep going. That's speed.
I think
Keep going. Oh. It's all yours now.
Danny, are you okay, mate? Huh? Listen, you don't have to throw the bone, just take, all right? You can? But when you're riding with the bone, don't worry about eating it. I'll do that tomorrow, all right? So just hang on tonight, and then just. But I don't, if you don't want to throw it, don't throw it. You just hang on, all right?
Thank you, Ronnie. Stand by the shoot. Here we go. Stand on the range. Ready? Okay, stand by. Very still and quiet now.
Stay, please. Stand by the range.
Start the range.
Stand by, please. Right. Happy. And action!
Have you ever heard of a Duran?
Yes?
We've always tried to pioneer things visually, and I believe that a lot of music videos reached a peak with things such as Thriller, and there really wasn't much further you could go with that length. And we really felt that it would be exciting to do something new and special with a live concert. So this seemed to tie into the fact that we could also make it into a film. It all started in Oakland, in San Francisco, towards the end of the American tour. And so we started off doing a television special. We used an awful lot of cameras to film the live show so that we got a lot of different angles and numerous unusual things from the show that you generally wouldn't see. Cameras above the stage and a camera called the Lumar Crayon, which actually is a camera on the end of a sort of 15, 20-foot electronic arm that can move around on the stage and get very close and go from behind the drums up right out into the audience. I think that it's very important when you do make a film that people are constantly trained on the screen, their eyes are trained on the screen, and they don't get bored by it.
Into the sun, I try to find the new day, but the whole place, it just screams in my eyes. Where are you now? 'Cause I don't want to meet ya. I think I'd die, I think I'd laugh at you, I know I'd cry. What am I supposed to do? Follow you. Outside the thoughts come flooding back now.
We finished it, and it looked so good to us that we decided, well, let's make it into something bigger. Let's try and work a story into it so that we can really develop the show and try and sort of bring out parallels with life and a kind of fantasy story as well.
I personally find normal live concert films very boring, and we just wanted to add a new dimension to that and just do something that was completely new.
Very difficult to do much with a concert film apart from have a concert. That's why we started to incorporate more of the techniques you can use with video editing.
There's a lot of things which go on in your subconscious mind when you're watching a band on stage that actually don't appear on stage. There's things in the words which make you think. There's images that are created in a very strange way by the band and the lights, which could never transfer onto film. So we thought, well, let's not leave it a chance and hope that some of that is expressed. But let's actually put something in there. Let's take some of the more subtle ideas that are in the songs and in the stage presentation and actually give them to people on the film.
So, and Milo, once the visor goes down, just
you're picking
people up and whizzing around.
I pull the visor down to the
There, and then just start going for the levers. Yeah, just going crazy. Yeah, all dials. Okay. I went and saw them perform a couple of shows, and they had this giant Ida4 screen, you know, like Wembley or whatever. And the kids, and they have a director in there with 3 cameras, and she's cutting images up there. And the kids are just totally looking at that. I mean, they hardly ever look, apart from the kids in the front. You know, 3/4 of the auditorium is looking at that screen the whole time. And so, like, Simon can be singing a ballad, and if she cuts to a close-up of, say, John, they all erupt and destroy the song. So she realizes this, and she has an incredible power by going, depending on who she cuts to and the pace she cuts, she can vary the level of the audience and their reactions. And so I thought that screen was very important. It's quite a powerful sort of 1984 type sort of image. Technically, the sash, that what we call sash, that interference, because we put the screen in again to make it clear, the sash makes it look more real for some reason. I don't know why. I think because it gives it more like 3 dimensions. I don't know why.
Don't listen to them! I'm your...
I mean, I think that screen can do anything. It does explode, and particles come out of it, and liquid pools out of it. So it's a beast unto itself, that thing up there.
It's coming somewhere out of the back!
Well, I went over to California initially to do a live concert, but knowing I wanted to do something different, but there was no idea. And I think we even shot a lot of... It wasn't until we shot after California that the ideas started to develop.
Surreal parts, if you like. It was all done in Shepperton, London. We built this rather large set. The crew in Shepperton said it was bigger than the one anything they'd ever seen. They said it was bigger than the one they did for Close Encounters, and it was massive. I had never seen anything like it.
Fair enough.
Is it going to be weighted the other end?
It's all balanced.
The windmill was the first real, I think, concrete image that anybody actually came up with. I remember sitting on a boat in the middle of the Mediterranean, and Russell had come over for a holiday. He was really white and pale, and I was there with Michael, the manager. And we were sitting there, and he said, right, let's get down to business and talk about how we're going to put the band over.
So I wanted to experiment on a different way of doing it. So what we've done is we've got a concert, and I've expanded that idea. So we've got a relationship between the audience, the band on stage, and a type of a video world beyond the stage, which is physically there during the concert.
And it occurred to us, I don't know whether it's myself or Russell first, that it'd be good if we were
if the band was seen in danger, in jeopardy, and also in pain, as a kind of metaphor to being in a band and being forced to perform. So there's somebody maybe, say, in bondage, but being forced to perform. And I think didn't take us long. I had this idea of a windmill going around anyway. I thought, well, what about strapping somebody to the windmill and actually having them going round and then up and then coming down again and then going round, and all the time having to perform, having to sing or having to do something.
Yeah. All right.
It makes it scary.
Yeah, you need to be able to hear, don't you? Twice as much as yesterday. Huh? Just for this camera. That's all you
And that was how that idea came about. And Russell decided to make it even worse. It would have a nice big pool of stinking, putrid water underneath it. And then just the head would go under this every time the windmill went round.
How do you feel there?
Upside downish.
Yeah.
You don't feel insecure?
Well, I do, but I don't mind. Come from one of those homes.
Back over the other side, Trin.
Okay, let's go
Just
outside.
let go of it.
Get it to 180. Just pick them up.
Oh! You're a brave man. Very good. Looks great, Simon. Looks really good.
See, I can actually...
You're strapped in.
Down a bit further.
Keep your head down.
How do you feel?
Frightened. But I'm holding on with my hands at the moment.
Let go now and see how you feel.
You all right?
Yeah, what's happened to my foot, though?
Just a little leeway.
It's still on the bar. I'm worried about my feet coming off the bar.
Okay, I'm tighten that one up.
Actually strangle myself.
Steve,
No, it won't because of the arm strap.
It looks good. Bob, you won't take him slowly all the way around.
you want to go slowly all the way around?
I think he's got to do it.
Okay,
Hang on,
Steve, off you
somebody's up
come.
there.
Here he goes.
It's all right, this one's slipping.
Superb.
Can we go into position?
Fantastic, Simon. Thank you very much.
It's a very strange situation you put in when you're working with a director like Russell, because of his, obviously his reputation and his experience and his expertise. You say, okay, Russell, we've got this idea here. We've got the band on stage. We want to have another character involved, and we think the atmosphere is pretty dark and pretty sinister, and the lights could be doing this or could be doing that. Listen to this part of the music. Hear these words in the song. And you give that to the director, and Russell, he takes that away with him, goes away for 2 weeks and has a think about it. And then maybe comes back with a storyboard, shows us all the things that are there, and we look at it. Until you've got something where both agree, both feel happy, and both feel as though they've actually been involved in the creation of it all.
I'm not sure how actually you're going to get away from the monster yet.
No, right.
Maybe you will kill it. There's going to be a guy's hand in there.
Or maybe I can you give me some help when the wild boy comes to help me and I'll pull him in.
I like it. Yeah. Help.
And he goes, and while he's getting eaten, I get out.
And the monster.
1 second.
The scene with the monster was for me, was the most difficult one, because it was so cold. It was absolutely freezing. I mean, the frogmen who were in total wetsuits their teeth were chattering as well.
Let go, you can flip it off.
Russell was really very helpful there. He kind of talked me into it. He said, okay, Sonny, you're in this really dark, dangerous place. You've just come off a windmill. You don't know what the hell's going on. And he says, so you're just in there. Keep your eyes on me. And while they were doing this, they were just preparing the scene. So he taught me, I really got into the idea of it. And then he said, okay, now we're going. So I started sitting there thinking, I'm in this dark, dangerous place.
It's frightening.
Very nice. Very nice.
jewellery. Oh, great. Wonderful. And this is great. What does this do?
It's
It's a big pin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's nice. I think that for the first time in a project that we've done visually, style was actually something that became quite important as an overall theme. We decided it was time that we had some sort of strong visual concept overall. And when my outfit arrived, which I had spoken to somebody about beforehand, it appeared to be very, very different to everybody else's and not quite that I had imagined myself.
Russell had kind of broken down.
Russell likes the Christmas tree effect. You know what it reminds me of? You know those things that they used to make on Blue Peter, those trees where you rip up all the things, all the layers, and it comes out like this. I don't know, I think it'd probably be all right if it's maybe not quite as long as all this, if we just cut some of that off. So, in the end, the guys who'd made the costumes actually left after a couple of days, and by the time I started my shooting, there wasn't anyone there. So I had to make my own. It's actually a Camp Mad Max with jewelry. I love this glue. It sticks everything, doesn't it? More red one here. How many more jewels can one possibly fit on the collar?
I'm now going to take two of them.
They will be taken for. It's quite interesting to actually do that. I felt that it was important that overall everything sort of had a unity and linked together for that particular sequence. So I transformed my costume into something more aligned with the others. I mean, they were all different, but it seemed to fit together.
So, Nick, what you're doing, camera's there, I see a profile of you and the monitors. I come around, seeing you working on the computer and playing with the monitors, yeah? When the camera gets to about here, OT's going to come up and sort of offer you a piece of equipment through the other side. Just take it and then he'll back off and then just start working. And OT! OT! Okay, give looks now, Nick. Look up, there's a guy flying over you. Give us another look up.
Once you're actually on set filming parts that don't have dialogue in, it's not really as complicated as it might look. It's complicated for the lighting people and for the director to get the camera angles right and everything. But as long as there's no dialogue, I think that's the fear of having to rehearse a lot. We generally don't rehearse things because it takes a long time to set everything up. And then maybe there's a very brief run-through. But generally, the actual taking of it doesn't take as long as the setting up of the shot.
Very good. Very, very good.
Trevor, see if you can get the flame to go as they're in mid-flight.
Okay.
Okay, and roll, please.
1, 2, 3, go! Got it? We came out first. Once more. Who came out first?
Jeff did. Jeff, you were quick that time.
You're too quick, Jeff.
Okay, walk away. Roll camera.
1, 2, 3, go! Good. Excellent.
Russell, what's the positions here? They're facing that way.
They're facing outwards.
Which way? This?
Well, they're all...
Oh, they're away
They're
from
like
us.
a merry-go-round, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
They're facing outwards, yeah.
Do you want that? Hands.
Richard,
Yeah.
that will work.
Because you've been sucked up a whirlwind, tornado. And arched back and look in pain. As you go up.
We'll arrange.
You'll arrange the pain? Fine, just arch your backs.
Steve, slowly take the weight and run like hell.
Nice one. All right, I'm not nervous.
You really are sort of looking up going, where's it taking us? I mean, it's not holding hands, it's like, you know.
Steve, stay off the weight.
Jerry.
I don't think we should hold on, myself.
How are you going to hold hands? You're
How do they feel? Heavy?
You're holding hands, are you?
You want another weight in there?
We got to hold hands. Listen, man.
Hold the wrist. Right, now wind them up, Ron, please. Wind them up. Any faster? Put a marker on it. Okay, calm down, Ron. Nice and steady.
One more quickly.
Down and right away against me.
Ollie Phillips did all of the choreography on the Wild Boys. It's quite a big task as well. There was quite a lot of dancers in what couldn't be termed as a normal situation for dancers to be in, because it was a fairly violent routine. But she's always sort of personified, how can you term it, modern erotic dancing? The naughty bits. She's always good at the naughty bits.
As far as the movement was concerned, it was up to me. As far as the style and of the numbers, or what they essentially wanted, they gave me a guide. Well, actually, Russell gave me a guide of what they wanted.
I think she did a really tremendous job because she's very modern in her approach. I don't think she's like a lot of other choreographers that have had classical training and sort of stuck with it. She has something quite avant-garde in a way, but very special. And I think with the Wild Boys, she really read the brief perfectly and choreographed all our creatures.
Makeup was a very long process. I know a lot of the dancers were in makeup for hours and hours before they actually started filming. They'd arrive at the studio about 5 o'clock in the morning, and they actually wouldn't film till the afternoon.
Now, what's happened to this so far is that, first of all, a ball cap's been put on Mia to hide her hair. That comes down round the ears, across the forehead here, and down the neck. Over that, a prosthetic piece has been put on, which we've put on, which comes right down onto the eyelids, comes down around here, across here, around the forehead, up, and right down onto the nose to try and change the shape of the line of the head and this rather strange alien line that's there.
Oh, God.
Okay.
The Wild Boys is a book by William Burroughs, which Russell Mulcahy has the screen rights to. So we realised that Russell had this whole movie concept for it. The Wild Boys are characters that he had dreamed up for his own movie. So it started off with being a tester for him and to utilise some of the characters that he had already dreamed up for his own movie. And then it ended up fitting into the movie by then becoming the Nasty Bunch.
Okay, build yourselves up, come on.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea. I'm changing this car.
Are you doing it this afternoon?
I'm changing it to Mercedes. Being flashed with images of naked women and all the things I love in that.
Yeah? Okay, that's great, John.
Please, bring John down.
I loved it. Yeah, I loved it.
All the band at 170 on the roof.
It was, when you do. That was great.
Strap nice and tight. We can do with this gun thing off, couldn't we?
Andy?
Yeah?
I think the way people perceive our band, is very nurtured, and people are very conscious of our safety and taking care of us. So to put us in a threatening situation is something that an audience perhaps wouldn't expect us to be placed in. Therefore, might evoke a different reaction to what we're used to. I've certainly never been hung up on a flying harness. It's very uncomfortable and a little bit hazardous at first. Actually being strung up there was enough to get you in the mood to feel threatened.
Now, it's best to strap your chest. Strap your chest. Thank you, Andy. Careful, careful.
It felt quite dangerous when we were doing it, but I'm sure it was very safe. When I was first doing the balloon thing, people kept reassuring me that it was actually very safe. It was sort of hanging from wires from the ceiling. But no matter how much people assure you, you always sort of have that doubt.
Everyone else is like, Andy's bashing outside, we're going on a windmill, they want you in jeopardy. Yeah? If this guy gets you, that's all right.
But you're above him.
I mean,
you don't need it.
I wore jeans and never wore denims in my life. In anything to do with Duran, I think it was one of the rules we made, no one wears jeans. But I did in the Wild Boys sequence, because it fitted.
Take the loomer up, Bob. Take the loomer up. Take Roger back. Take Roger back. And take the loomer up. Take Roger back.
We were there for about a week, and we actually worked for probably a whole day, which is always the thing with film. You're always sort of hanging around a lot, and you actually work a very small percentage of the time.
Right there. Yeah. And just bring your hand back to him. But swing your hand back to his hand.
Elbow that one.
You're blocking your face. Blocking your face.
Huh? Really slowly.
Slowly, yeah. Don't block your face.
I can move that out as well. Swing.
Like that.
And open hands at the end.
And then round and round the garden like a teddy bear.
One step. Have you been practicing that on Live Landy? Yes. Isn't he a bit young for that?
All the nursery rhymes, everything.
There is a big problem beginning to arise in the world of video with the way that songs are treated on video. I think that it's very easy for people to look at the song and to read the lyrics and go, okay, you know, she walked out on me, so, okay, you get this girl walking through the door slams, bang! and it's like giving all your cards away the first time.
Action! Action!
Charlie. So what we tried to do with the Wild Boys was to give something a little bit more obscure, a little bit more difficult to actually work out and to handle. Something which had a lot of different kind of ideas and images moving through it, and something which you could look at again and again and again and discover different things, and hopefully eventually be led back to the song and to listen to the song for the clues to the video.
Right away.
Sorry.
First mark, please, dancers, right away.
Russell, you got to walk fast enough. Or is it too slow? Is it kind of tired? Sort of like,
I think so. I think so. But when you do that, then you get more purpose, and then you walk a little bit faster. Yeah? Yeah. After that?
Yes, yeah.
Speed up a bit.
Obviously, all the scenes and the basic storyboarding was thought out before. But whenever we've worked together, Russell and the band, we've always had a lot of improvisation in it, because that's the kind of thing which adds the little details which make it look believable. And it's that kind of freedom to do that, I think, which makes the scenes work.
Lovely.
Discover the dignity and nobility.
The reason we had Milo O'Shea is because it was so bloody obvious we had to do it. I think it was our one and only chance. We'd always talked about getting that bit of footage where Jane Fonda says,
Professor Payne, excuse me, have you ever heard of a man called Duran?
Duran? From the planet Earth? Yes, indeed.
He's alive?
We've always been a big fan of the Barbarella film, and it's always been something in the back of our minds to use something from that film.
Well, it seemed quite funny, you know. The whole thing is supposed to be humorous and a little bit of a send-up.
Duran?
Oh. Recognize me?
Recognized you? I could never have recognized you. I thought you were only 25 years old. What happened?
Well, the madness is not without its effect.
But you've aged 30 years.
The madness has its own means of nourishment. And in return, it teaches us truth.
I don't know whether I'm going to use it, because it's pretty violent. Yeah. Have you spitting at the screen?
Spitting at the screen, sure.
I mean, just looking at it going... Yeah? Just make it... yeah, but very straight, just really hate. Yeah? I really hate it. Okay, just a mute shot, please. Thank you.
Okay, all lighting effects.
Stand by, please.
Okay, here we go.
Ready? Roll. Step to sleep.
You.
Take it away. Thank you. Start.
Projector. Scissor arc. And action. Tightening. And cut it. Good. Lovely. Thank you. Very nice.
No one takes the name of Duran in vain. Imposters, they cannot escape the madhouse. Look at them. Planet Earth will never be the same again!
But that's monstrous.
Yes, isn't it?
There you go.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Get my tongue up so I get my foot into the shoe.
Yeah.
There's one particular scene where Marlowe O'Shea's sort of supposedly walking around on 4 stilts. He's got a stilt on each limb, and obviously he couldn't do that, so we had to bring in stuntmen to do that.
Gotcha.
Putting on the still.
I think.
Hope on.
Okay, that's the song.
There's a part in the film where somebody's supposed to jump on his back, and unfortunately he landed a bit heavy and he fell over and broke his leg.
Got it! Nurse!
Stuart hurt.
Nurse!
Stuart hurt.
Yeah, nurse, please.
Shit.
Hurt, Stuart.
Nurse, let the guard down.
Hold on! Hold it. Everybody hold it.
Quiet. All right, on 2. 2. Good.
Stuart. Hold nice and still. Yeah, just hold nice and still, mate.
I just walked into the set at that time. I didn't know what was going on. It was an off chance. And I just walked in, and there's this guy on stilts walking along on fire, falls over, appears to hurt himself, and then everyone applauds. And I thought, wow, you know, that was all set up. Turned out that actually the first time the guy did it, he broke his ankle doing it. And it was as dangerous as it looked.
Light it, Peter. Light it, Pete.
Okay. Okay. And action!
Right,
Brilliant. Brilliant. Got it?
Got it.
Okay,
You go.
Wow! Woo!
Okay, go.
Okay, next one.
Ow! Hey!
All right, you.
Brilliant.
All right, you.
Woo! Ah!
It's all right, it's all right.
Very good.
Stand back. Stand back. Somebody else do it. I'll be back. We all like that. That's all right, Johnny.
Let's go. Playback, win. Hold it. Let's go.
Play back, win.
Somebody's moving around.
I wouldn't say the project turned out as I had imagined it would turn out. What we've got is something very, very different.
We did take gambles. We did feel the danger of pushing the film further than it should actually go.
But it doesn't mean that I'm not proud of it, because it's something very special. And when I look at it now, I'm glad it's not how I thought it would, because I was thinking of it in a very cliched way. And it would have been very predictable if what I was thinking had actually ended up on the screen. What I see now is something which excites me, and I'm in it.
Because originally it was just a concert film. We've developed it so much more now into a proper feature film that it's more than I ever expected.
At the scene where they blow the whole set up, when we saw it go up, actually, when they did it, they only had one take at it as well. There was about 30 explosions. It was quite good fun seeing all this huge thing just go everywhere.
Moving on the floor now, baby, the bird of paradise. Cherry ice cream smile, I suppose it's very nice. When you step to your left and the flick to the right, you catch that Berrow way out west. You know you're something special and you look like you're the best. Her name is Rio and she dances on the stand. Just like that river twisting through a dusty lane. And when she shines, she really shows you on.